We'll just have to end, you know,
You already know. We'll keep it going, keep it right out here in these streets.
always.
Anybody see my
You know how
phone? I don't know
usually
what
how
my
that
phone.
you don't know, you really don't know where your phone is.
I have no idea. And I'll be trying to like, comment, share, subscribe.
This is
Everybody
why I
out there,
love
make
my
sure y'all do it.
watch because when I can't find my
I know. And I
phone,
meant to put
I ding it.
it is sitting on the
Oh,
charger.
yeah.
Can't you tell it? Can't you tell?
Yeah, that's why I just leave it on there because
I
mine's is
stay with
just
my
too
watch on.
much.
You know it, man.
I'm
Out
not
here in
sure
these
I
streets.
understand.
Julie, how you feeling down there,
I'm
bro?
good,
Or,
brother.
my apologies.
Up there,
How you
yeah.
feel up there?
We seeing some
Up there.
sun though, so I'm feeling good, brother.
Hey, Will, don't start, bro. Don't start. I'm for real. Don't start.
Thank you, bro. Let them know late.
Facts. We was sitting right here, man. I got a whole family right here. I got a whole wife and 3 kids around here, man. My apologies. We out here in these streets though. See how you feeling up there? Is it still cold up there?
It's the first day of spring,
Yeah.
it's
I couldn't
getting
tell. It was cold today.
it's
I,
getting warm. It's not the weather I want it to be, but
yeah,
I'm doing good.
I ain't mad at it at all. Look at this. Look at this. How can you make that declaration? I pressed the button, Wilford. Oh man. I'm getting here with these streets, man. Look, I'm telling you, it's dope and it's good that we even get to do this. We even get to talk about basketball, do what we love to do. Essentially, I think
Fact.
there's so much going on. As we come down, you got March Madness, NBA playoffs right around the corner.
Yep.
Like upsets, number ones getting knocked out. I'm sure everybody's bracket is trash right now. If we're honest, let's be honest here. I don't know about y'all, but my bracket is poo. You hear me?
Fact.
And then my team, my Kentucky Wildcats, they just that hurt. Gotta sit on that one. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. How y'all feeling so far with March Madness though?
I'm gonna be
Absolute. Oh, go ahead.
I haven't really watched the men,
Yeah.
but the women, they're balling. The I think I'm so impressive.
Look at this, man.
Though so impressed, excuse me, by the defense that's being played because they've been so close.
Yeah, that's
Like
facts.
even yesterday's game with Sanford and Ole Miss, they were Ole Miss had them all game, and then the fourth quarter, Cameron Brink, Haley Jones put that look on their face like we got to close this out, get to the Sweet 16. Ole
Let's
Miss
get
didn't
it.
score a basket in the 4 minutes, but in that last minute, they showed up and showed out on the
Got
defensive
to.
end, and look, now they're
Yep.
continued dancing and knocked off the number one seed.
Crazy
And
out in
that
these streets,
hasn't
man.
happened, I think, since 1999.
I think what I love so much about March Madness is that you just don't know.
At
Like
all. Bro.
anybody can get beat. Like how Julius always mentions it, just regular season, bro. Doing the play. Like that's March Madness. That
Hmm.
March Madness is if you slacking on that night, that team will knock you out because everybody is coming for your neck. You hear me?
That's
Like
it, bro.
I love watching that, bro. And college players who are giving like they're all like you got to be impressed with that. You know what I
Andrew
mean?
Reese
Like
is the only player to score 25 points, 20 rebounds, 5 blocks since the year 2000.
Fact.
Orisa problem. Let's make sure we point that out. Absolute problem. Now, I am. I don't know how far. I mean, are we gonna see? You think we're gonna just have to see LSU and South Carolina?
I don't even have LSU going to the Final Four. So in my bracket, no.
Damn.
I
Who
think
knocks them
LSU gonna
off?
make it back for that rematch, man. Honestly.
Who gonna knock
Um,
them off?
I have them going to the Elite Eight facing Utah.
Yeah, I saw that on your
You did
there.
say they were gonna lose at Utah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got
Hold
If
on, this is
she's gonna be the
my
only
young
person
child.
that does anything, that's gonna be like, yes, they all have great players, but Elite Eight is different. Like now, this moment is different. Like you know what I'm saying. So I just don't know if the other pieces are they gonna show up the same way Andrew does in that matchup. Like you said, it's one game and you're out. It's not like you have multiple times to play these teams and get it right the next time. Like if LSU is not all on, I just don't think they're going to move to the next round. And their records are seemingly close. So I have just Utah winning.
yeah.
So
Man, the
see, I'm trying to
men's
see the.
The men's
That
is
season's big.
absolute madness right now, man. How many
Madness.
3 number 1s got knocked out over the weekend?
Princeton
Craziness.
was dancing. Like Princeton, I don't know if they're still dancing, but the last I checked, Princeton was still dancing. Like I was
Yep.
like, what?
Yep. People got them going to the Elite Eight. I think that, well, first of all, Kennesaw State lost a heartbreaker. That broke my heart. We definitely should have won that game, but seeing where we were when I was there to where they are now is nothing but up from here. My alma mater, Purdue, lost number 1. And I think Alabama right now is the front runner, man. That boy Brandon Miller is going absolute crazy right now, raising his draft stock as well.
That's a big fact.
I have a question for you guys. When it comes down to March Madness, we talk about playoffs all the time, and you have that one chance. Would you prefer defense, or are you going to do you want a better defense or better offense to win you that game?
I think in college basketball, I gotta go offense.
Okay.
Only because most teams it's much harder to score in college basketball than it is in the NBA, right? Like we understand that, we see it. I think for me, when I'm looking at, and of course he better defense.
That's me.
Offense. I hear you.
I just
Makes
from
sense.
the games that I've been seeing, they've all came down to a defensive stop.
Yeah.
So it's not even the offense because they've been so close, losing by 3, winning by 1. How many games have been made by 1 point?
That's a fact.
Yeah. I think whatever team can handle the runs and lock up on defense and withstand the runs that these teams are throwing at them, that's what team usually always wins. It's always a comeback or one team
game of runs.
Yep, and then they lock up on defense in the second half, and then they come back and start their own run.
Sound like a game of offense. What it sound like?
Yeah, yeah.
I think if you got a lethal offense, it's gonna be hard to beat you. And I think that's all the way around. It's not like a.
But doesn't lockdown defense change the flow of the offense?
I think it definitely does for sure. But now I'm relying on. Thank you. I'm relying on my defense to get me easy buckets. Right, and usually defense does mean that, right?
Yeah, if I got transition baskets.
Yeah, like if I got a 3-point shooting team, somebody who can spot up, knock down the shot, big man in the middle. It's hard to beat offensive teams in collegiate ball. Like, but I definitely understand defense is definitely that's never going to change. But I'm looking at this next matchup: LSU and Michigan. I'm sorry, LSU and Utah, and Villanova is beating up on FGCU right now. So South Carolina, we might. I mean,
that game earlier with Louisville and North Carolina was absolutely amazing because Louisville was up the entire game. 2 players went out back to back for North Carolina. They turned up their defense. They went on, I think, a 7-0 run by themselves. Deja Kelly came back in after going back in the back, hurting her ankle, came back, scored a bucket to tie the game. Eventually, they end up losing by 1, but it's just now going forward, it's like, I don't know.
So you have
in my Final Four,
South Carolina going against Notre Dame or Maryland.
No, I don't have any of them in my Final Four. In my Final Four, I have South Carolina, Iowa, Virginia Tech, and Indiana.
Really?
Yes.
I like Iowa though. I'm not mad at that. That's a solid.
What about Ole Miss? You don't think they make it past?
No.
They got to get past. It looks like they got to beat Louisville. Louisville's beating up on Texas right now. So Tennessee put 94 in their hands. Jesus.
It just seems like I just feel as though it's a different want for some of these teams. So like Virginia Tech, they're on a 14-game winning streak right now. Okay. Like the way they came out shooting yesterday, Taylor Soule is their like grit, their encourager. Like you need somebody like that in a tough game because when you're getting beat up, how you have to stay in it. You need that one person that's going to get on you, be in your ear, even when they're on the bench. So I just think I I want to see Virginia Tech. They have to. I have them facing UConn to go forward.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But
Yeah.
those are
I
my four.
mean, you got Indiana over Miami.
Yes.
I mean, they're losing right now, but I would definitely love to see Indiana and Villanova. I think whoever comes out of OKC, Oklahoma, UCLA,
That's
South
at 10. I
Carolina.
can't wait
I
to.
mean, South Carolina's gonna beat up on them. I don't really see them losing
And
too
in the
much.
championship, I have South Carolina and Virginia Tech.
Indiana better stop playing right now, man.
That is
Miami,
crazy.
Miami on them.
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
Miami.
They're
When
not
they
playing.
say some of these teams are playing like it's their last game, literally. I mean, I know it is their last game, but it's from the start to
Facts.
finish.
Yeah.
Facts. But you appreciate that though.
Yeah.
And that's what I love so much about like March Madness because you're like they're bringing their all and they're gonna give everything they got because this is the NBA Finals for them. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to make sure if we lose, we out. If we win, we keep going. Let's just not lose a game.
And it's crazy because like there's no more no one has a perfect bracket at all.
Bro, the
Oh no, you
biggest
can.
nah,
I mean,
zero, bro.
after who went down
No,
first?
on who?
What's the name I'm looking for? I forget the name of the squad.
Men's or
Creighton.
Men's
I think Creighton losing was big for a lot of brackets.
Yep.
Mississippi State was nice, but I mean, you definitely didn't expect that. I expected
I mean,
Oklahoma over them
Princeton beat NC State. That was an
for
upset.
sure. For sure.
So,
FAU.
Then they had
yeah.
to go see Utah. I don't know, man. LSU and Utah's gonna be a good game.
I know that it
Am I
is going to
tripping?
be. No, it's going to be a
Okay.
great game. I just have Utah winning.
I gotta what
I think it's going to be down to the last possession, like all these games have been.
Yeah.
I think they're not being tested right now. They're having a sweet ride to where they're going. Like Stanford got tested, even though South Carolina eventually won against South Florida, but Dawn had to make some quick adjustments early because South Florida was giving them the business in the first
Yeah.
quarter.
It's
Eventually
big
they
fact.
pulled away, but it's like I don't think if you're not going to face any teams that has given you ways to win and grit moments, then what are you going to do when you're in that moment in a Final Four? You done beat all these teams so easy. What do you do in that moment?
yeah.
That's real. You always think about competition.
Because it's
Like
it's not like the regular season. You heard what UConn said. Playoff UConn is a totally different beast. So March Madness
absolutely.
UConn is a totally different beast. So it's like, yes, you face UConn, but you don't have the UConn March Madness UConn, So it's like all these teams you made to face LSU, but it's like you're not facing them in March Madness time.
That's fit. That's facts. I'll give you that. Definitely regular season different than you're looking in the Final Four because everybody's desperate. Everybody's desperate. Everybody's trying to win. Everybody's trying to execute their plan.
Maybe the NBA should watch some of these games and see what desperate looks like.
That's why, and I tell you this: a lot of people didn't agree with it, but this is part of where the play game came from. Like giving these teams who are on the fringe and creating this mini tournament.
I
at the
like
end of the
it.
season because March Madness was so big. You appreciate somebody who gets on the court and says, "This is it. If we lose this game, we're gone." We
Yeah,
gotta
but
play our
then
best."
it sucks in the second round because they're gonna get mollywopped, and that's what we're seeing.
Depends, though. If they healthy, if a team getting healthy, like look at Golden
Right.
State, they in the play-in right now.
Yeah,
They can
they
be
are.
top seed if they get their people back.
And this is what I'm thinking because for me, and no disrespect, we're gonna have this conversation later on of top teams and figuring out like who's top 10, what teams are top 10. I don't mind getting the AC and having to face Denver first as the Lakers. Like I'm not like we don't gotta play Denver.
Especially now
Like,
because in the last 5 games they've lost 4.
oh yeah, they out
So
here
it's
losing.
right. So it's like you
The
can.
sub 500 teams.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Lakers have trouble guarding good point guards.
I mean, I hear you, but I'm not. I mean, and I know we're trying out bigs right now, right? So I'm like, we got to really Fair. I think Tristan Thompson's coming in for a workout.
I like TT.
If D Book is out there, I'm not D Book.
I love TT. I ain't even
if
gonna
Bookie's
hold
out
you.
there, like why not?
Yeah.
Here we go. So 1 through 3 in the Western Conference can all be had by a healthy game and team. This is what I'm saying. Like if we're looking at who you face, you got Denver, Sacramento, and Memphis, which I think a healthy Memphis is definitely gonna be hard out. I think Sacramento at number 2 in the conference, 43-27. That's not they're not an easy out.
No.
They're not easy.
You know what I mean? I don't think they're easy out.
And they play. I mean, they don't play defense, but you know.
Yeah, it's a fact. Now, all right. So make sure before we move on, Julius stayed the down. Appreciate it, Will. So this is the thing. Before we move on, let's make sure your Final Four for women's. What is that? See, you said South Carolina,
Iowa,
Virginia State,
Virginia Tech, and Indiana.
Iowa, and Indiana.
Mhm.
Okay, so LSU loses to Utah, right? But Utah loses to Villanova.
No.
In your bracket?
Hold on, let me pull it up right now.
I ain't mad at it.
Let me pull it up. You know.
I got Maryland over Notre Dame. So
who's your Final Four?
Maryland goes and plays South Carolina, and they get beat. So I feel like I can just forget about that whole side of the bracket that South Carolina's on. Don't even. Sorry, guys. Like I ain't even looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they not losing, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Miami is on Indiana's head right now, though.
They own them, bro. At the
They're
half.
down 12.
So I have in the Elite Eight. I have not. Excuse me. I do have LSU coming out of beating Utah, but in the Elite Eight when they face Indiana, I have them losing. Excuse me.
Hey, Indiana got to get out the game. Right? They down 12 to Miami right now.
That's okay.
That's crazy.
But you know what? All these big teams have started off slow. It's true. At the end where the team can't close it out. They're doing everything they do in the first 3 quarters, but that fourth quarter, 4 minutes left, they're just not there.
That's true.
Said I traded them out. I just got a text asking why I'm not here. For those who don't know, Will is suffering through some sickness, can't really talk, so that's why he's in the comments instead of being on here. We didn't want to hear his raspy voice out here, which I think he still can talk. He's not just not a strong presence. And everybody who knows Will, he talks with a lot of attitude. So he can't give his attitude. It's not going to be the same. So we understand it, my boy. But
he's giving it to us. He's giving us to us via
comment section for sure.
You know,
I got a text asking why I'm not there. I told him I got traded. Miles traded me to the V Report for 3 packs of Kool-Aid. Hey, man, I don't even like Kool-Aid that much, but we need you in these streets, my boy.
Definitely need you.
And to confirm, he says no, I can't even talk. He ain't got no voice. So he sound like a smoker trying to talk to his throat.
Get better, bro.
You know what I mean?
Definitely get better.
For sure, bro. So yeah, Indiana definitely got to come out. So okay, all right. So Julius, who you got on the men's side? Who you got in your Final Four?
Alabama for sure.
Really, for sure.
For sure.
I love the confidence.
No, I don't know about for sure. The way these games is going on the men's side.
For sure.
San Diego State. I think they'll beat them. And then they face Creighton or Princeton.
They're gonna beat
Houston, Xavier, Texas, Miami, Arkansas, UConn, Tennessee. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. After what Kansas State just did to us, they look kind of good, bro. They look really good.
Sleeper.
Gonzaga's always be good.
Tennessee.
Gonzaga and UCLA. I'm excited about that.
I can't. I gotta watch that game.
Tennessee.
That is Thursday, 9:45. The game before that, Thursday at 6:30, is Kansas State and Michigan State. That's gonna be a great game.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna beat up
Arkansas, knocking off
Tennessee.
Crazy.
Tennessee going to the Final Four out of that bracket.
You think so?
I think so, bro. Both of them Tennessee teams playing.
I think there'll be a FAU, and then, gosh, that's crazy.
Another sleeper, Miami.
Really? You got them over Houston.
I got them over Houston, bro.
Houston just
That's
put
solid.
81.
That's solid though. That's understandable.
Miami tough, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier,
Miami
Texas.
tough.
I think for the teams that haven't got knocked off, these are all top teams. Tennessee's 4, FAU's 9, Kansas State
Hey,
3.
number one team could get knocked off. Anything's possible.
Yeah, Gonzaga
wanna
UCLA's
say-
3-2 matchup.
I want to
Arkansas
say
UConn
Gonzaga.
8-4.
Yeah.
Xavier Texas is 2-3. Creighton and Princeton is the only one that's kind of like, I mean, after they knocked off Baylor and Missouri, that's crazy.
Last spot I got Gonzaga.
People's
man.
brackets got to be shot, bro.
There's no perfect bracket on
perfect
anybody's
brackets no more,
side, non women or
Can't
women's.
be.
No more.
It's at,
It can't be.
last night at 11:57. That's when the women's bracket was demolished.
Big
when
facts.
Ole Miss beat Stanford.
That last spot, I'm gonna take Gonzaga, but watch out for them boys from Arkansas, man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we lied.
They're playing with a lot of passion and they are determined to win. Because when I was watching that game, I was like, every possession, they were locked in. Locked in.
You gotta be out in your streets, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, definitely, man. So make sure y'all tapping in, following in NCAA. Look, I'm telling you, the March Madness is here, and I freaking love this thing. So
Especially to the newcomers that are newcomers this year to March Madness. It's a lot of fun. I told you, thank you for joining in on the shenanigans because
big facts.
it's a lot of fun. And it's so different now because I feel like it's evenly on the men and the women.
Look at this guy. I'm just waiting.
Hi, bro.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? So I feel as though like it's evenly matched. Like some of these women's games, I'm like, she just did that. The Hezi, like it's just so much talent on both sides now. It's like even. Like before, it was just the men's. Not many people was worried about watching the women, but now some of the women's games been more exciting than the men.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, Texas, Tennessee, Creighton. That's from Will. All right, so make sure y'all keep going. So emergency has popped up for me. One of my sons is not feeling well, and it is not looking good. So I need to go handle that. You two handle this show. My wife just texted me. I need to get off.
For sure, bro. Take care.
Y'all two handle it. See, yeah, I appreciate it, man. You got the itinerary. Hold it down. As far as the comments, I'll be back to put them up. I'll just kind of be off in the back. Y'all handle it. Love y'all.
Love you.
Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. I wish I could finish, but my family is first for sure. So
give your son all the love, and I hope he feels better, bro.
For sure.
I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all. Y'all keep it going.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Julius? You got me all by yourself.
And then there was two.
And then there was two. So we're in the we're going for the championship. You know, it was the Final Four, and now it's just us two.
Exactly. Let's get it, man.
All right, so we talked about this constantly all the time about this MVP race.
Facts.
If you had to vote today, March 20th at 9:04 p.m., who would you be your MVP?
No other, and shout out to Will who listening in right now, than the Greek Freak. I can't go any other way right now. Right now. Not saying that it's a clear cut. Right now, I'm taking Giannis at 31, 11, 5, team in first place, dominant every game. I'm taking Giannis Antetokounmpo, man.
He is dominant on both ends of the floor.
Yep.
I am going for Joel Embiid.
Why?
If I had to choose from right now, so they are 8-3 from the All-Star break.
Okay.
He's shooting 60% from the field, 50% from three. He is I guess it's the way he does it when it's in the game. I just feel like he always gets overlooked, and this time he is truly dominating on both ends of the floor. Like, you're not going to forget me this year. And I think that's just only the slight edge that I do have over Giannis. And my top three is Embiid, Giannis, Jokic.
Okay.
I don't feel as though that Jokic should. I know his numbers are crazy. His assist numbers are crazy. But, bruh, in the last 5 games, they've been 4 L's.
I agree with that. They definitely slid. I think that they played Monday, actually. They play each other Monday. I think the league don't forget about Giannis because they kind of tired of giving him MVP.
Yes, that's what some article I read. They said that they always look over Giannis
Yeah.
for those reasons.
I think they're gonna decide from that game, which I don't agree with one game, but I think the deciding factor gonna be next Monday. Who win that game? If it's in dominating fashion,
Mhm.
that's who's gonna take over that number one spot. My thing about the MVP is that it is not the definition of what most valuable means.
I
And
was getting ready to ask you, if you had to set the standard of what an MVP would be, what would the standard be for, I guess, I don't even know who votes at this point because sometimes it's confusing as to why they vote the way they do. But what would be your standard? Like to be a candidate for an MVP, what would you say you had to do?
uh, I think the definition of a most valuable player
Mhm.
is exactly what it says, meaning that if you're on that team,
Mhm.
you're contributing, you're doing your thing, and they take you off of that team, you're that valuable to where they're nowhere close to the position you're in right now when you sit out or when you gone. And that's why I look at Jokic like, man, if Jokic leaves that team, they might be in 11th place right now.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
how I
because
see it.
Jamal Murray is not the bubble Murray that we've seen. He's not doing. I mean, he did have the leading scorer the other day with 25, but you are
He's
right
getting
with that.
back to where he is, but he definitely not James Harden or Drew Holiday right now.
Or Chris
In my
Middleton.
opinion, yeah, Middleton. I think Embiid and Giannis got a better cast, but that's just the front office. I think that Jokic is going to leave if Denver doesn't get him help within the next year or so. He gonna ask to leave. So to me, most valuable player means exactly what it is. You're the most valuable person on that team, and without you, they can't win a game. Which is why I didn't agree with them not giving LeBron more MVPs than he had.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with that, but when it comes to like MVP, I feel as though not only being the most valuable player, but the standard you put on every night. And I guess that's where Giannis would come. Remember what we talked about in the text of him saying how he's not great as KD or great as Curry, but he wants this,
and he
and he's
worked.
gonna he's gonna put the work in. So the work ethic, I guess you can say, would be another category that I would have to check off in my MVP, because not you're setting the bar not only for yourself but for your teammates to fall in line. Because if Giannis, I mean, he has his second best when he's off the court, which is Chris Middleton, but he sets the tone for that team. Even when he's
Right.
not on the court, he's still setting the tone. So that's what I feel as though that has to play a part into an MVP, because what are you doing for your team, not only on the court but off the court as well? Since you get judged off the court as well in this league, I think
Yeah.
that has a factor.
I think Embiid is his first one, just because he in the front right now, and I
Hmm.
really don't think they're gonna lose. But he definitely deserves an MVP because he definitely a top player in his league, and he got his team in a position to take first place,
Hmm.
and maybe they take first place.
Aren't they 2.5
2
games
games.
from one?
Yeah,
Hmm.
two games behind. They definitely got a shot because I don't see him really slowing down and Harden in his mode right now where he going absolutely crazy like he was in Houston.
He is, and I'm happy to see that. But like I will always say, I have to see him in a playoff game. I have
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
I have to see him and Embiid and Doc, because
yep.
he falls in that line too, in a playoff game against a Milwaukee Bucks,
The
or
adjustments, yep.
that they
True.
made. Because so I love what he's doing, and he done shut me up this year as far as his playing wise, but and how he can score. He's even defending, and I'm a little bit shocked about that. So I just have to see James Harden in a playoff game.
I think he gonna turn it up a notch, man. James Harden in the playoffs, but I'm
I
looking
hope
forward.
so.
I'm looking forward to the playoffs NBA this year.
Oh, me sure am. Especially with the West being the way wide open as
Mhm.
it is, I am so ready to see the playoffs this year. And I'm loving the race to the playoffs, because the East we already know kind of how it's going to go down, but in the West we're just still don't know. Any team could go anywhere, like we were saying earlier. We're what, 3 games out from 6, but we're also
Yeah.
3 games from 13. So
Yeah.
either way, the
I
West.
don't know about East either though, because Miami creeping up out there. They the 8th
Oh, yeah.
seed right now, beating number 1 seeds and everything. They playing
After
good basketball right now.
you heard what Jimmy said, he was tired of losing.
Yep.
So, but that's what I mean about setting a tone. Like if you want, if you don't want to lose, set that mindset not only for yourself but every person on your starting 5 down to your bench. Everybody. That's like speaking of bench. I feel like that's what the Nuggets need to invest in.
Absolutely.
Is a bench. So we're speaking of teams. Who's your top 10 in the NBA right now?
Top 10 teams in order: Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
Boston Celtics. Philadelphia 76ers. Denver Nuggets. Sacramento Kings. Memphis with Ja Morant. Just because
But they've been winning without him.
They have, but I don't think they're a top 10 team without him. With him, they could possibly be like, 2 on the list that I'm talking about. Phoenix with Kevin Durant. Clippers. Knicks and Heat. I put the Heat in there just because what they doing right now, the teams they beat since the All-Star break, and I think they on the come up to getting back into the form they were about 2 years ago.
So we're gonna see Jimmy Buckets, the dogs, when they was the dog squad. What was it when they waited to the finals? Was it or the East?
Absolutely, Jimmy going crazy right now. So that's my 10, and like I said, I think any of those teams could jump up or go under, intertwine, switch up. It was tough for me, but right now that's what I got it at. I think the Bucks are the front runner, and then the Heat kind of edge in there.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I have the Bucks, the Sixers, the Celtics, Kings, the Nuggets, Memphis, Cavs, the Knicks, the Nets, and the Sun.
See, I was hesitant about the Cavs. I like that. But I just don't think they for real. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think they for real. They play down the competition. Every time I'm seeing them, it don't matter what team they playing. They never like close teams out. Every team they play is either beating them or they having overtime games with them. And shut up, Will. Both best records in late December beat both of them. It'd be. I respect that, bro. I said I think he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm just saying right now, I got Giannis. Also without MPJ and Murray, though. Yeah, that's true.
That's why I said I just think they need a solid bench.
Yeah.
What we're seeing, I feel as though with the teams that are winning, their starting 5 can get a break. So when it comes time to close out a game, their starting 5 is rested. You know what I'm saying? That on go time. So it's like the teams that don't have a bench, Lakers. Here we go. Even though AD stops, but but back to the teams. I was 9 and 10 spot really was because the Sun, but then with KD they're different. But even though he's not playing right now, that's why I put them at 10. But the reason why I put 9 for the Nets is because from the trades they made and how they're playing, they actually look like a basketball team.
I don't know. I think they're going to gas out.
That is fine. But as right now in this moment, I mean, I don't have them like winning, Eastern Conference Finals, all that. But I'm saying as of right now today, they actually look like a basketball team. And it's really it's good to see that even though they traded Harden, Kyrie, and then KD, 3 superstars, and they're still being able to compete, and they hold the 6th spot right now. So it's like they deserve some type of, because they didn't fall flat on their face when they gave up who they gave up. And Mikal Bridges is balling.
Yeah, and they also trying to get Van Fleet and Siakam this offseason to bring them in. That'll be so tough. If
that
they
would
did
be
that, man.
That would be
the money,
so tough.
They got the picks, they got everything they need, boy.
Yeah, and they, then that means some more players will go to the bench and they'll have a solid bench.
It'd Yeah,
because
New
Quigley
York.
coming off the bench is Josh Hart coming off the bench. So, oh, that's from Knicks. Sorry. But yeah, so and I'm surprised with the Knicks. I hope they can continue because you know how they get in the playoff time, they start doing Nick things. So that is my top 10 teams.
Okay. I
Do you
respect.
see any of those teams changing?
Mm,
Like, can do you see any of them like drop into 11 and another team coming up on either side? Like,
I can see the Clippers
yep.
maybe falling out just because they hella inconsistent right now. But
I think they'll the few games that they're at my 11, like a number 11 right here, and I
yeah,
feel like they're getting it together. They just have to do a like I think they'll get it together come playoff time.
yeah, they're gonna piece
So,
together because they got Ty Lue out there. They're gonna be a tough
mhm.
team to beat in the playoffs, especially with Kawhi playing every game. And I think they're gonna end up bringing Russ off the bench again, like he was in LA, because I don't
But when
know,
it's
they
time
like,
to win, I think that would be the best bet moving forward, like in playoff time, like that for
yeah,
your team to dominate and like do some damage in the playoffs. Russ will definitely have to come off the bench because I don't
fact.
some games I'm like, why did you shoot that? You still had 16 seconds on the clock. What are you doing? There was
Oh,
no
Russ,
need
man.
for that. But
Exactly. But
speaking of
let's,
players, who's your top 10?
man, this was tough.
Oh, guys, before we give our top 10, we are going to do so you guys don't bash us. Let me give you the full disclaimer now. We are doing top 10 active players. So if they're out injured right now, they're not, we excluded them. So we are doing top 10 active players, just so you guys are aware.
All right, my top 10. My top 10. Giannis at 1, Embiid at 2, Jokic at 3, Jason Tatum at 4. He's saying this, but he's been going crazy since he came back from injury. Stephen Curry at 5. 6, I got Damian Lillard. 7, when healthy, Kawhi Leonard. 8, Shea. SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. 9, De'Aaron Fox, probably my favorite person to watch play basketball right
He
now.
that 3-pointer at the buzzer.
Yeah,
Woo,
boy.
he's getting busy.
And then 10, I got his teammate, man, Sabonis.
Oh,
That boy putting in work right now. Putting
okay.
in work.
I'm not mad at that. I am
I
not mad at that.
I feel like I left somebody off, but I just went with who.
Repeat 8, 9, and 10.
8, 9, and 10 is Shea, Fox, Sabonis.
Okay.
I feel like I left Julius Randle out though, man.
Me too.
I feel like Randle could be on that top 10 list right now because he been going crazy. I thought about Devin Booker.
But you have to. I get what you're saying, but it's like compared to what we have. I'll go. I have Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, Curry, Jason, Dame, Kawhi, Shea, Donovan, and De'Aaron Fox. Those are my top 10.
I'm mad at that. Who did you? Oh, you left out. You said Tatum, right?
I have Tatum at 5. I have Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, Curry, Tatum, Dame, Kawhi, Shea, Donovan, and De'Aaron Fox.
Okay. Kyrie, that's interesting. You think he top 10 right now? He been going crazy now, and I think going crazy right now as we speak.
I guess maybe because I'm just disappointed at what we thought. I mean, I know there's still time to see what can happen with Luka and Kyrie. I know Luka's out or whatever. And of course, if Luka, KD, LeBron, Ja was actually playing, this list would be totally different,
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, like these are the difference makers on each team every time they play.
Yeah, I agree. Kyrie Irving
So-
definitely a top 10 talent in this league. Nobody can guard him.
No,
He got
his
20
handles
and a
is
half right now, so
oh woo, man.
going crazy. So.
Well, check that score. Who's winning? UConn or Baylor?
Women's?
Yeah.
Good question. 10-6 Baylor. They just started though, so
Yeah, at 9. So I'm not worried about that.
Indiana came back. They within 3.
So before we close out, who's winning the NBA championship?
I'm trying to think what I said. I think we talked about this maybe 4 weeks ago.
That's why I'm asking you now.
Yeah.
Mine
Man.
too. Mine hasn't changed.
I got the Sixers. What are they at right now? 1, 2, 3. They can't meet in the Eastern Conference Championship there. I got the Sixers and the Bucks meeting in the East.
Okay.
And then I got the that's so tough. Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And the Memphis Grizzlies meeting in the West with Ja coming back. They're going to be tough to beat. And then JJJ playing out of his mind right now.
I think Ja's going to come back with a totally different attitude. And like, you know what? I have the Bucks winning. I'm not even telling you who's going to be in the Eastern Conference. I have the Bucks winning the championship.
I got the Bucks meeting the Memphis Grizzlies in the championship, and the Bucks winning in 6 games.
That's not too bad. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. If I had to decide what 2 teams would be on the West right now for Western Conference, I would say the Kings would be facing the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that game will go to 7. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the Kings will take it.
Think the Kings beat the Grizz?
On a game 7?
Yeah. Steven Adams coming back too? Ooh.
So.
That's tough.
You know? So, you know how that goes. But like you said, anything can happen in the West. Who knows? Who knows how Ja's going to come back when it is. LeBron comes back to the Lakers. He has to fit in with all their new pieces because they have not played. So that's also something that the Lakers have to deal with him coming back from injury.
Bron come back Lakers in 6, man.
Of course, I'm never going against Bron. But when KD comes back, the Suns going to go back to being unstoppable. But if he doesn't come back, sorry for you, Suns. That
first round. Yeah, first round.
You know, the East got some ballers, and that's going to be a fight to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I cannot wait to see it because it's about to be amazing. Well, thank you, family, for tuning in. Will, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to work all these controls and do all the comments and all that. But everyone who's watching, thank you. We are greatly appreciated for you. The team loves you. MTMB loves you. Hey, bro, how's your son? I was just about to reach out to you and give you some love because, you know, we wrapped it up.
For sure. No, y'all definitely held it down. Let's get to the comments before we get off real quick.
Okay.
Pretty exciting this year. No cut favorite. I think we saw that one. Michael Bridges is him for sure.
That fooled me, man, because I definitely on the Suns. I thought he definitely was just a catch.
He seemed chill.
Couldn't create his own play.
Came out and
shot.
I don't think that he couldn't. I just think he wasn't. That wasn't his position.
I think that's so messed up, though, man. Taking them players like you see what if the Suns had him right now doing what he doing,
but he wouldn't be playing that position
right
at the Suns. So
I
think
playing that role for sure.
So
for sure that Siakam and Leviton Bridges is a great value, big 3 that scares you.
Facts.
The MVP. Y'all talked about the MVP as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked.
I said Joel, and he says Giannis.
Yeah, he argued that point. 164 messages to prove it. after I posted that question. So, yeah, I saw the conversation.
Well,
I
since
had-
you're back on, I had asked Julius, since we're
Yeah.
talking about teams and players,
They
who do you
definitely
have?
better than De'Aaron.
Who do you have and meeting up for the championship?
Oh, that's a hard one. Jesus. I think what's so crazy is the Western Conference obviously is wide open. It seems like it. As
Wow.
much as a lot of people would tell you that it's not. Denver, being number 1 at 48 and Sac being 43 at number 2. I mean, right now the Lakers in 10th place. They're three games out of 4th. So I think it's so much that could possibly go on. But if I'm thinking championship, I probably got. I think I probably got Milwaukee or Philly coming out of the East. I might lean towards Philly just because I feel like James is in his bag right now, and Joel is on a whole nother level. I think they just want it. They seem hungry. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be tough with him match up with Drew too, bro.
Yeah, man. So I think that's gonna be definitely good for the Western Conference. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's so much. I think it's easy for me to be like, if the Lakers are healthy, I feel like they can match up with anybody in the Western Conference.
Lakers in 6 if Bron come back healthy, man.
Yeah, but it's just health is such a big thing for anybody. So anybody who's been consistent to me hasn't been Phoenix. I mean, because KD's down, so you want to have those players. You still got Chris Paul in that squad, so that's I'm not saying an injury waiting to happen, but it's scary for him to be on the court.
If KD don't come back, it's a wrap for the Sun.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you still gotta honor Golden State. I think you still gotta honor the Lakers, and maybe I'll probably say maybe Denver, the Clippers. It's the West. The West is hard for me. I can't really make a decision, honestly.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to, but I think it's wide open. If my
who was that comment to? Was that comment to me about Shea and De'Aaron Fox?
Because I think he was talking to me. Shea definitely better than De'Aaron Fox, though. But
I would say that I'm an inside girl, and I love
15. Will
McCollum?
No McCollum, not in 10.
Then Celtics, if you saw him.
You did say that, bro.
And then Ren got 52. Sheesh.
Oh my God.
We was just talking.
Yeah.
He was Randall, man. I felt bad leaving him off. Like, he might have
but it's just so much that it's like that everybody's doing.
Facts. I feel you that. I think for everybody in the Eastern Conference, I think legitimately I'm thinking Milwaukee, Boston, Philly. Sleepers maybe Cleveland or New York. They make some noise, throw some people off, maybe get a high seed out of the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing for the Western Conference. I think even with the Lakers at 10, they'll get that 8th spot. And Denver, the Nuggets don't scare me.
Nope.
I mean,
they proved it in the last 5 games.
You know what I mean? So I think that's really like
experience on the floor, boy.
You know what I mean? So Phoenix and Clippers, I'd love to see the Clippers and the Lakers. Sacramento and 2 and 7, whoever that 7th seed is.
You don't give the Grizzlies a shot.
I think they're still young. I think bouncing back from something like this may not be in their DNA yet.
I think they're going to take full advantage because that's what everybody thinks.
And then Steven Adams coming back.
Who's the get bucket guy for the Nuggets in the playoffs? That's a fact.
Jamal Murray. He done did
it. We don't know that. We only seen Jamal in the bubble. That wasn't really like,
That was ball.
I mean, I think Dante makes a great point. Like, you could think it's Jamal. The thing with Jokic is that even with his MVP bid this year, he's not consistent in terms of offensive scoring, but only because he's not. And we talked about this earlier. That he's not required or asked to do things that Joel Embiid is to do on offensive end, right? Like Jokic just wants to play good basketball. right? So if I need to get 15 assists this game, I'm gonna do that. If I get 20 rebounds, I'm gonna do that. If I
That's
gotta
a
drop
lot
40,
though.
yeah, for sure.
That's tough to assist. I think he has to do more offensively.
In terms of playmaking and watching the offense,
All
I think in terms of
that,
playmaking for sure.
Mm,
But putting the ball in the bucket, that's a whole nother level for Joel.
yeah.
So for playmaking, yeah, he's has to do a lot on the offensive end.
yeah.
But again, they don't scare me. Like even Dante asking that question, like I really don't.
Jokic scare me because he gonna tear our bigs up if we face them, man.
Oh yeah, he gonna beat up. He gonna beat up on it because I know AD's not guarding him.
Yeah,
I'd want AD to guard him, but that's not AD. You know what I mean?
He's so soft. It makes me so mad.
The
It
only
just
way
makes
they can do much. Yeah, I think that they gotta have the X factor. And the X
Yeah.
factor,
he hitting shots, bro. They tough to guard.
when
You
he's
know,
hitting,
I
when
think
he's
it's a solid
making them
squad.
and he comes out and he's knocking them threes from every corner, every which way. But if he doesn't always have that type of game, and he doesn't always come out with that sense of urgency either.
Yeah.
Yep.
And let me say this. I think we could lose to Denver in that first round, but they just don't scare me. I'm not like, oh, please don't let me get Denver. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it.
Though, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we beat Minnesota for that playing spot. Or I have to play because I think if anything ever ended today, it'd be Minnesota and the Lakers, Golden State and OKC. Golden State beats OKC.
We would have to play. I thought it was 7. So 7 and 8 play each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then 9 and 10.
So we would have to win 2 games to get in, right?
To get the 8 spot. Yep.
That's tough, boy.
You ain't lied. Said Lakers in 7.
Yeah.
7 again. Against who?
Man, I appreciate
Denver.
it. Yeah, you talk about Denver.
You gotta be Denver. Yeah. I'm not mad at that. But you think Golden State get 7? They played Sacramento in the first round, which that's for Golden State. That's a winnable series. I mean, it's not going to be like
it's not going to be no sweep though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not leaning like it's done. But for Golden State, that's a winnable series. But
and GP don't come back, I give it 5 games.
I hear you. I think Golden State goes there, and then we play. So we have to beat Minnesota and OKC if everything played out right now. Beat Minnesota and beat OKC, which SGA has eaten up our point guards all season. Like it's just not even
the way he gets to the rack. The way he just gets to the rack, SGA is ridiculous. The way he can split through defenders is just, oh my God.
Definitely solid. So Golden State got to win on the road first. Yeah, the road record is trash.
Yeah, definitely trash. And
I don't know what the Bulls did, in the last week or so, but they've been playing some different basketball, bro.
Hey man,
maybe it's Pat Beal coming on. Yeah.
He's a dog, so he ain't about to sit there. He ain't trying to lose.
Yeah.
So
that's a fact.
Different people, different faces, different environment. He may be saying the right things to Zach and DeMar and Caruso. He may be saying some things that they never even heard to turn him up.
That's the game changer. Having that type of presence in your locker room. And I mean, he came out the other day. He scored 14 straight in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm. So it just
home game in Chicago. So I think everything's gonna be good. I mean, they're right now they're in 10th place.
And they were low.
Yeah, man. But I mean, they 2 games outside of 8th. You know what I mean? So it can be done. We'll definitely see. But no, for real, man. I appreciate y'all holding it down.
Of course.
Son just running a fever, and we monitor that he has a history of febrile seizures.
Oh, okay.
So we always want to make sure, like when he gets a fever, we got to drop everything, get everything. He runs that risk. But we're not even claiming it. Already prayed over and prayed healing over his body.
That's right.
That's exactly what we're gonna focus on. So I appreciate y'all holding it down. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, for sure. And then make sure you get to this before we dip out. Trade straight to the net to the Raptors. I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that. I am. Will. This is why you need to be a GM. This is why, bro. Because
he played enough of it on 2K for sure. Yeah, here. Definitely, man.
Guys, before we go head out, I just want to make sure you guys tune in. Next Sunday is my 100th episode
What?
on my podcast. So make sure everyone tune in at 1:00.
Yeah, man. Have some fun. Appreciate it. Make sure y'all following us on IG, Twitter. I just said IG already. TikTok. Full 94 podcast. Got the shorts dropping. The snippets, whatever y'all want to call it. TikTok, IG. Definitely check that out, man. Got a lot coming down the pipeline. See, gets to celebrate our 100th episode. And I mean, I think that's absolutely is
That's huge.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? Because people, starting this is kind of like starting a bit like you got to throw everything into it.
Yep.
Be consistent, get the guests, get the people, get the content, and then try to have a social media presence in the midst of all of that. So, big ups to you, sis, for sure, for what you got going on. Absolutely love it. Keep doing it big. Y'all make sure y'all keep tuning in, man. Full 94 podcast on everything. I am Miles Austin, Jew_chasing dreams, and Sports Talk with C. You can find us anywhere talking basketball, man. All right. God bless.
Peace.
Love. Y'all be easy.